Here we go.
Dogs don't know what's good for them, like not being able to leave a good stick alone.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Greenies dental treats. Something better for your dog to chew on.
I thought that was great. 20 seconds? It only took 3 months to do. And I didn't know what Greenies were. I thought they were like environmental activists. But it turns out they're little toothbrush-shaped dog bones that are supposed to be good for your dog and good for your dog's breath. Who knew? I don't have dogs. Don't know. But anyway, so Greenies took a humorous approach, and I think I always like humorous approaches if you can pull it off. Amazon Business makes it easier to reorder office supplies. Now, I thought where this article was going to go was back in the day, back in the early 80s, we figured out a way to get the computer to ring you up when we thought you might be out of business cards or out of office forms. And it kind of worked. Although it worked just as well to put a reorder form in the bottom of the box that said what you'd ordered in the past, and so we could connect it together. And it was a lot easier because timing reorders is very tricky, and usage rates vary, right? Okay, but Amazon has a different approach. The Dash Smart Shelf, which weighs something, so you can and some of them are just 7 by 7. And you get different sizes, and you could stack toilet paper rolls on there, and when it's out, it will automatically order you new ones. What could go wrong with that? Like a changed part number, SKU, and instead you get a couple of refrigerators walking in or something. I have a hard time with that, but for you early adopters out there, now you got something you can go for. Okay, here was an interesting one. Preparing for the post-literate consumer. Okay, if you were from outer space, you might look at the world and say, gee, no one even reads anymore. TikTok, Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, people watch 17 billion images a month. There's only 7 billion people, right? How is that even possible? And I'm not even on it, for heaven's sakes, add it all up, people like pictures, and it's fast. I took a little issue with this article because, and here it says, 17% of consumers say they prefer all marketing to be delivered via video. Well, I do prefer do-it-yourself videos, and I also, in these tumultuous times, I watch a lot of sailing videos where people sell all of their worldly possessions and buy an old junk boat and hope it doesn't sink when they're out in the middle of the ocean. And some do, but most don't. Mostly they just break in minor ways and no one's died yet. But they're in, typically tropical island paradises. Even when the COVID shuts them down and leaves them there, they can still scuba dive or snorkel or kite sail or all that stuff. But, this guy says, well, the trend is a 1958 VW ad cited for its visual austerity contained just 165 words. But last year, VW ran one that just had 13 words. And at that point, it's probably more of a graphic element than it is even a communication device. Newspapers have seen subscriptions decline 70% since 2000. Sight, this author says, is our dominant sense. Let's go see who the author is. The drum, Martin. Okay, so Martin Keene. I think we're connected. I would not agree with that. I think smell is probably that's the one that's most tightly connected to your brain, and touch has 10 times the neural receptors that sight has. But we can be visually curious, and the visual is out a little ways. We can kind of see what's coming, and that's important. But it's not, I don't know that it's the most important. I don't know that it's dominant sense even. And even touch, there's a whole neuron set in your intestines and bowels and your guts. Gut feel is a real thing now. Turns out that you've got like the equivalent of a cat's brain, and you know how cagey cats can be in your digestive system. So gut feel is real, and that may be more dominant than sight. So we've got a lot of things to take issue with on this one. But, and then the other funny thing is at the bottom of the article, one point he makes is that most of advertising's power comes from the margins. And I made a note here that white space shouts, money to burn, we will be there for you. You know, a lot of the COVID ads were really more about saying we're stable and well-funded than they were about saying that we have the best stuff for you. For some reason, I'm blinking over here. Okay, there you go. What happened here? I don't know where I'm at here. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm still running. Still got some people. Okay, so, but the last thing was really funny. As I suspect you already know, since you've made it this far into a 1,000-word essay, there's still a lot of life left in words. And I thought that was great. Martin, you kind of undermined your own point there. At least some of us can still read, right? So I thought I'd flip over to some copywriting. I always like this stuff. Harry Dry's marketing examples, recently done marketing makeovers for website landing pages. You want to see the results. Okay. So, meet the next generation of SAT prep. In other words, we have new ways to prepare for the SAT. This is the alternative. Ace the SAT with just 10 minutes of study a day. Get started for $1. Which one do you think did better? I think this one by about 1,000,000 times, right? It's like the way it is. Watch the video. It says 5 out of 5 from 700 users, like little testimonials there. Excellent, excellent, right? The right words, and this has more words. Notice that, right? This one says ace the SAT in 10 minutes a day, but no. How about this one? Oh, listen. Kids don't care about the next generation of SAT prep. Right. They don't care. They care about acing the SAT. Exactly. We also pulled up the $1 trial and made 5 stars feel real. That's good. Become a master chef. Okay, that's one. Kind of not much words, right? Virtual cooking classes taught by Michelin star chefs. Okay. Unique product, but they could waste their uniqueness with a vague title that could mean 50 different things, right? That doesn't, a master chef isn't even a title. Michelin star chefs as the instructor, that is a real title, okay? How about this one? Get fan tokens, vote on exclusive team surveys, and be rewarded. Get the app. How fans get their voices heard. Oh, that's what a fan wants. A fan wants to get through. Join 100,000 football fans having their say about the club they love. Get the app. This is for soccer. You know, we don't think about it this way. I want one of these 50 guys in a bar. As Mike Holmgren once said, that's the only test of the instant replay. If 50 guys in a bar, if most of them think it was a bad call, it probably was. Otherwise, let it go. Okay, so awesome. Here's another one. Love motorcycles and dogs. CEO of Hustle Entrepreneur, always scheming. Yeah. Check mark is a joke. I love motorcycles. Good ideas. Yes, I own Tesla shares. Knowledge is porridge. And yeah, check mark is my trajectory. I don't know what Sam's after, but it's a lot of fun. This one's a lot of fun. I'm not sure which is better. But the point is that copy can make a big difference, right? So can words. So that's enough for today. I've got another long-term one. It talks about how important strategy is in times of chaos, but I disagree 100% on that one. Scott Adams, in his book Loser Think, argues that system is the way to go. System keeps you going day after day after day. And we saw that in how to deal with election stress. They advocated have a routine. Get your routine down and get your routine in going somewhere that's going to get you moving. What do I mean by that? Well, Scott Adams, for some reason, he writes Dilbert, for some reason wanted to be a cartoonist. And he had big corporate jobs. And he thought, well, how could I get started as a cartoonist? Good question. He decided that the best thing he could do right now, today, was go buy some paper and pencils so he could start drawing. Needed that. This was back in the day. And so that's what he did. Now, he didn't start drawing that day. That was too much. But for today, he could take one step. And so often, one step is the key to the future. So then, now that he has pencils, he thought, well, how can I make sure that I keep going? And he decided to set his alarm a half an hour earlier every day, not a big sacrifice, and draw for that half an hour. Just draw. Doesn't change his rest of his day at all. Just draw. Try to be creative. Try to start doing something. And he did it for almost a year, I think. And then he had enough material that he started sending it to publishers, all of whom rejected him and told him he needed drawing lessons. But someone caught on to what he was after, and now he's very, very wealthy, well-known, and an influencer. He wrote me today. We write back and forth sometimes, and I really admire him a lot. But how did he start? Buying a pencil. So if you're overwhelmed by strategy, just dump it. Say, I'm going to make 10 phone calls a day. I'm going to try to connect with 50 people on LinkedIn a day. That'll move you forward. And things can happen. Keep moving. Keep her moving. Have a great day. Like and share.